Hey, what's up guys? We are here in Fresno Flats on the foot of the Sierra Nevada. This park consists of the old buildings that once made up this small town. And since it's closed today, they can provide us with a free brochure where you can have a self-guided tour of the park. So let's go and explore.
In the untold days, Fresno Flats was a common meeting ground for the Miwok Indians to the north, and the Yukuts to the south and west, and the Monos of the east. They live here gathering the wild berries and acorns in the fall, fishing in the streams, weaving their baskets of native willow and water grasses which grew along the rivers, killing their meat of the wild deer, rabbits, bear, and birds. In the 1850s, gold mining camps set up along the rivers and the first white settlers arrived in Crane Valley, which is now Bass Lake. By 1860s, lumbering was the main activity and families started settling in, and a school was built. Fresno is the Spanish word for ash. Many ash trees were growing along the river and the land was flat, thus it got its name. In the 1870s, more families arrived and began growing hay and raising hogs. The area became a supply center for the lumber industry. The local blacksmith was known throughout the area as the only one able to fabricate and repair large wheels. In 1872, Fresno Flats replaced Crane Valley as the principal population center. The Southern Pacific Railroad built their tracks through the San Joaquin Valley, opening the door for the large-scale lumber operations. At the same time, the construction of the 54-mile lumber flume from Sugar Pine Mill to Madera created a mini-boom. The town provided supplies to miners, ranchers, and lumber companies in the surrounding Sierra foothills. By then, the town consisted of 3 saloons, 2 hotels, a Chinese-run store, an emporium, blacksmith shop, skating rink, dance hall, and a schoolhouse. In 1877, a major drought in California caused a general depression with slow growth in Fresno Flats. In 1879, the discovery of quartz gold mine on Potter's Ridge, the opening of the Madera-Wawona stage route, and the revival of the lumber industry returned an era of prosperity to Fresno Flats. But in 1887, the slow decline occurred when a railroad track was built between Berenda and Raymond, which then became the main supply entry and route by stage to Wawona. Then, without the knowledge or consent of the pioneer families, Fresno Flats became Oakhurst in 1912. In 1934, Highway 41 between Oakhurst and Fresno was completed and became the southern route into Yosemite and has brought tourism to the town. In 1975, Fresno Flats Historic Village and Park was founded on the land which was donated by Wilma Ellie. Some of the highlights in Oakhurst are the following. The original pizza factory started here in 1979. It is also the birthplace of computer gaming, such as the pioneering computer game developer Sierra Online from 1981 to 1999. In 1984, the first 3D adventure game King's Quest started here, and one of the earliest online gaming networks, the Sierra Network, in 1989. Now let us talk about Fresno Flats Historic Village and Park. It was founded in 1975 and contains a museum built around 2 restored homes from the 1870s and several restored buildings including 1 schoolroom and 2 19th century jailhouses. The museum and park are dedicated in preserving the memory of Oakhurst origins. On May 14, 2002, the museum and the buildings were designated as California Points of Historical Interest. Walking along the park, here are some of the several historic structures located within. Laramore Lyman House, built in 1867 by Robert Laramore. His wife was Sister Margaret Newton Taylor, first occupant of the log house. Construction is quite unique, with no studs were used in the walls. Robert was killed in a buggy accident in 1896, and in 1906, his wife sold the house to the Westfall family. In 1924, Ralph Lyman purchased the home for his parents. Later, the home was occupied by Marjorie Lyman, and she died in 1969. The property was purchased by Dr. and Joanne Baxter. They gave the house and the barn to the Sierra Historic Sites Association. It was moved from its town location to this park in 1975. The house was restored and opened to the public in May 1979. Flume display. Remnants of the logging industry during the town's boom days. Dobzik Barn, built in 1914 by D.F. Dobzik on land known as Schoolhouse Flats, now the Lazy P. Lama Ranch, whose owner, Peter Pierre, donated the barn to the park. Volunteers dismantled the barn, marked each cedar log, and reassembled the barn on this site in exactly the manner it was built. Robert Dobzik, grandson, and his son made by hand the new shakes for the roof of the barn. Raymond Jail, built by Constable Bob Larrymore, a carpenter by trade, prior to 1891. Located in Raymond and was used as a holding cell till prisoners were transferred to Madera for trial. The most prisoners to occupy the jail at a single time was 14. These men were locked up following one of the dances, which attracted the rough and ready element. No one ever escaped from the jail. Farm equipments. A variety of farming tools such as the Fresno scraper, stone sled bar, cultivator, horse-drawn plow, wagon, hay rake, and more are in this site. Fresno Flats Printery. The print shop contains the major early day equipment used in a typical small town newspaper. It includes a 1903 press with foot throttle and paper counter, an 1881 Paragon paper cutter, and a Line O type machine. Tack Room. The tack room features an exhibit of early day tack and equipment used when horsepower was fueled with oats and hay. The adjacent wagon shed contains a variety of horse-drawn vehicles. Taylor Log House. Built in 1869 by William Bluford Taylor Sr., enclosed by modern house in early 1900s. Mrs. Taylor was the sister of Mrs. Larimore. The log house is constructed in the two-pen dog trot style, which was originally an Ozark design, but also common in Mr. Taylor's home state of Kentucky. This type of structure was seen throughout the Sierras mid to late 1800s. Constructed of sugar pine logs, the two rooms separated by a dog trot housed the family room with fireplace, cooking, and living in the east, and the bedroom, sewing, and workroom for the parents in the west. The Cunningham School. Named for the county school superintendent C.C. Cunningham, this school building was located on land donated by E.B. Landon. Classes were held in this building from 1911 to 1965 when they were moved to the new school named Wasuma. The lack of vegetation in the schoolyard surrounding the building saved it in a devastating Harlow fire in 1962. It was moved to this site in 1989 and it is now used as a meeting room and social hall. Nathan Sweet Museum Building. In 1871, Mr. Nicholas gave the village land, which a small log school was erected. In 1874, an even larger building, now known as the Nathan Sweet Museum, was erected on the same land. Classes were held here from 1874 to the 1950s. After being abandoned as a school, it was used as a community hall and in the 1960s, a public library and a justice court. In 1977, It was moved here and named in honor of one of the founders of the Sierra Historic Sites Association. Today, the museum displays many items of historical interest donated by residents of the area. It also features a bookstore and a gift shop.
So guys, this wraps up our little tour of this historic park in Fresno Flats or Oakhurst. Until next time, bye!
So guys, if you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and feel free to comment.
Hit the bell, hit the bell, hit the bell, hit the bell. Come on guys, hit